Good morning everyone, welcome to our podcast from Universitas Bina Sarana Informatika. So in this podcast we're gonna discuss about issue fuel price increasing in Indonesia. Specifically is non-subsidized like Pertamax and Pertamax Turbo. Joining me as Revan.
Okay, thank you Dapa. Discussing the Pertamax is important because it lets us look at empirical data rather than just opinion.
So Revan, why does Pertamax price change triggers such a massive shockwave in our domestic market?
This relates to the substitution effect in microeconomics. According to BPS data, Pertamax is widely used by the middle class, online ride-hailing drivers, public transport, and private motorcycle owner. The price rises sharply. Many consumers switch to subsidized pertalite instead, causing short gas, long queues, and ironically increasing the burden on the state budget.
So how does this affect grassroots and university students?
Based on Organda's report, rising pertama price push up logistic and online transport fares. Many students who rely on matic motorcycle requiring high octane fuel and cutting their budget for books, printing assessment or campus activities just to keep affording fuel.
So the Pertamina argues that Pertamax pricing must stay flexible since it's tied to the global oil benchmark in and on MOPS. So how should we evaluate this corporate dependency academically?
This is a structural issues. Pertamina operates in two roles: a commercial entity and a state enterprise with a social mandate under Article 33 of the Constitution. Is Pertamina doesn't offer transparency or support like fuel voucher for student. Corporate stability comes at the cost of eroding public purchasing power.
So what does fiscal policy literature say about balancing this price?
Okay. Adjusting price to match global oil rates is necessary to keep Pertamina financially stable, but without strict subsidized file quotas, the middle class might panic and trigger inflation logistic. So while the pricing theory is sound, execution requires government support for public transport, alternatives to protect students and low-income workers.
So what's the long-term and sustainable solution for students for facing this ongoing fuel inflation?
Two main solutions for urban mobility literature. First, shifting toward transit or oriented development like commuter lines or Transjakarta. Second, adopting electric bicycle as a shield against fossil fuel volatility, which also align with carbon reduction goals.
So that's a brilliant analysis from you, Revan. So the Pertamax price increase is a complex issue about linking global oil dynamic to the daily survival of student and citizen. And thank you for your discussion. Well, support this perspective.
My pleasure is important we analyze national issues to factual academic lens. Welcome to our second session. Now I'll be the host. Today's topic, my university students should learn English. Joining me is Dapak.
Thank you, Evan. I'm genuinely excited to discuss this topic because English proficiency isn't just about extra skill on a resume anymore. And English is evolved into a fundamental requirement for global survival in the 21st century. So today, interconnected world, the ability to communicate in English determines how far a person can access knowledge, opportunities, and network that go beyond their own country borders.
Why is mastering English so critical while still in university?
So the primary reason is that English is the undisputed lingua franca of modern science, technology, and global academic. If you look at the data from major academics, citation database like Scopus and Web of Science, you will find that around 18 to 90% of all peer-reviewed high-impact scientific journal and research paper are written and published exclusively in English, which means that if a university student lack English proficiency, they're essentially locked out of the latest scientific breakthrough and advanced literature in their field. They're forced to rely entirely on translate materials, which are often delayed and limit in availability. And it's affected by the translation bias that can distort the original meaning to write a solid undergraduate thesis and cite credible international sources, or even just keep up with current development. And in one major, student really has no choice but to engage directly with English language literature.
Okay, how does English influence career after graduation?
The connection between language skill and economic opportunity is very well documented. For instance, an annual report from the EF English Proficiency Index consistently show a direct correlation between a country English proficiency level and indicators like gross national income and workforce productivity. So, and any more practical level, multinational companies like modern industry often use English for English proficiency as an initial filtering mechanism during recruitment, even before they evaluate someone. Technical skills, human resource studies show that candidates who are fluent in English have access to a much wider job market, including remote job, international. This position that wouldn't otherwise will be available to them because there is research in the labor economic indicating that employees with the strong English skills can earn noticeably higher salaries compared to equally qualified college who only speak the local language.
Okay.
So
How does English interact with technology and philosophy?
maybe the technology and English are practically inseparable at this point. According to web technology survey from platform like W3Text, more than half of all contents on the internet is present in English. So which means in the field like computer science, software engineer, and AI or artificial intelligence, English is the default language from almost everything, from like programming documentation, technical manual, research paper, only in English, and even the error message is in English. So most software tools are written first in English because they're made first in English language. So many students can bypassing the English simply because it's unrealistic and it's not just about technical skill either from a communication standpoint. So the professional plan. networking on platform like LinkedIn or participating in international conference and webinars relies almost entirely on English as the shared medium. Someone maybe might assume that their local language is enough for everyday life, but the data really does show that English functions as the essential bridge connecting students to global knowledge, technological literacy, and long-term career resilience.
Incredible insight, Bapak. Learning English is an incredible incredible insight. Incredible insight, Bapak. Learning English is not just a university requirement. It's a strategic necessity that unlock global knowledge, career adaptability, and participation in the global digital economy. Thank you for your discussion.
Thank you so much, Stefan. It was genuinely a pleasure discussing with you. It's such an important and practical topic with you today, and I hope this conversation is encourage more students to see English not just as another project to pass, but as a real investment in their future.
And that was our final project podcast for English conversation too. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye, everyone.